The most complete, Kadachuan SRIVIJAYA, inscription, engraved on the Talaga Batu inscription, which has a carving of 7 dragon heads at the top of the inscription. The Persumpahan section is written under the dragon headdress. At the bottom of the plain a water channel is written that forms a spout in the middle. Holy, water that is poured from above flows down to the spout, the water is collected in a bowl to be drunk to those who take the oath of allegiance. Water. The chemical formula is H2O, where each molecule contains 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms connected by a covalent bond. The energy in water molecules is high when the hydrogen bonds are not maximal, such as when the water molecule is close to its surface or hydrocarbon groups. Therefore, physical-chemical reactions as well as biology will occur in human growth, or the energy that is converted will react to those who swear if they violate or obey. This means, by using this water energy and the human body will react through the media of water according to human treatment automatically. This is the metaphysical process that is meant, namely after or behind something from the physics that cannot be measured by the reach of the 5 senses. Happy or unfortunate, this swear applies from the crown prince to the washerman. If you are not loyal to me, you will die by this curse, eternal peace will be the fruit that this curse produces. That is the thread in the Persumpahan inscription, SRIVIJAYA Kadachuan. Events at the Puja Center which are routinely carried out jointly by figures and the king of Vanuatu Kingdom are carried out, among others. 1. Regular meeting once a month by the Mother Goddess, in pre-Islamic times. 2. Routine meetings once a year by the Dachuak and Si Ampu, or mothers are carried out ceremonies and rituals at the center of the puja, after which they move to a wider area in the large courtyard beside the Supreme Court building 100 meters west of the old temple which is called Mabuhay. 3. Routine meetings every 3 years attended by all those mentioned above. In the pre-Islamic period that carried out the wheel of government was his brother. If the male brother was not able to, it fell on the son. If not obtained, then it was chosen from the male grandson from the daughter. If not, if the choice is obtained, then the choice is made from among the younger siblings who are sisters. If not obtained, the choice is also directed at the sister of the mother who is a younger sibling. In the previous period before the year 78 AD, the name of the leader or Pukuk leadership called Puchikalam Pulau Poko. Among them are 1. Shanghyang Prabu Maharajadaraja Makawi, origin of the word agarwood. 2. Shanghyang Prabu Maharajadaraja Makari, origin of the word curry, of the sun. 3. Shanghyang Prabu Maharajadaraja. 4. Shanghyang Prabu Maharajadaraja. 5. Shanghyang Prabu Maharajadaraja Makori, origin of the word kori, karas. During the leadership of Shanghyang Prabu Maharajadaraja Makawi, this was where the port of Baras became famous because it was the port for exporting spices. From this port that all incoming and outgoing ships had to take a permit. Mother Dewey or Padma Dewey has a parentage from Mother Mina Katua, Tua Sakata, which is now published in an area called Minang Kabao. Mother Dampu on Mount Dempo, Mother Sima in Mount Basma to her son named Brahma, now on Mount Bromo, Java. In the 7th generation of the Malam, a son named Bathara Tapa Nali had a child named Opung Distance Marabu. From here his descendants made Marga, Weil, Dharma Raya, Dharma Sreya, was a descendant of the Datu race in Kadachuan, namely, Shanghyang Dui Puti Indamo, from several of them. 1. Shanghyang Dui Puti Indo Dunia. 2. Shanghyang Dui Indo Jati. 3. Shanghyang Dui Puti World Indo. 4. Shanghyang Dui Puti Indo Mayang. 5. Shanghyang Dui Puti Indo Meta. Shanghyang Dui Puti Indamo. Her male brother has the title, Dachuik Indamo, in Eslampur Suki. Her nephew has grown up in the city Ung. Dharmasraya then developed to Pariongan, built a palace for her nephew's daughter in Pagaruying, with the name of the country, Sirwaso. In the Batasankar the title is, Datuk Rajo at the Hall. The source of the literacy origin of the word, Minang Kabao, is that the word originally came from the Srivijaya center, namely the word, Mananga Tamuan. The letter U in the original Naghori word in Kadachuan, Mananga, is taken from the name of the pre-Islamic mother, Bunda Mona, the mother of a gathering place for the people, scholars and dignitaries. Mananga Tamuan is sometimes interpreted to be a meeting place for 2 rivers. The literacy of the word, Tamuan, is identical to the philosophical meaning of the bee animal or wasp, which has a government system on the mother or the queen in the philosophical wasp bee. Datu, namely there is a yellow line on his arm. Mananga, is distorted into the word, Minang, only the Singosari kingdom calls the word, Manang, during the British colonial period saying, Manang, in the Dutch colonial period changed to the word, Win, plus the word, Kabao, which is interpreted as, buffalo, plus the publication of a story about a buffalo who won the fight. As a tactic of the invaders pitting one another. Nalanda University in Bihar, India is a branch of the university in Svarnadvipa Nusantara, named Dharma Pala. This is the center of learning and teaching the teachings of Dharmic original, which later underlies the birth of Buddhism, Hinduism and Jainism in India. Watch this. The Chinese pilgrim L.T. Xing, 635–713, left his country for an area called Kinchio, Kinti Golden Land, Svarnadvipa, former Indonesians called Srivijaya, Foche, Boha, Boga. Or the Chinese version of Chali Foche. The city of Boga is the holy city, center of Dharmic learning in the long pre-5th century BC with its landmark, Takas estuary site, through which, equinox. This, shadowless, point proves that the word, Ceylon, was found, in the books of which the book, Mahavamsa, is not, Sri Lanka, at this time, but is located in Kampar Riau, Sumatra, Indonesia, the complex area of early Dharmic, teaching and learning education. Other evidence. In 399–414 AD Fa Huan while traveling in Svarnadvipa noted, following the river Ponai, is the river Panai, Kampar, in the place, where the students used to live there and make movements, walking in a circle, around the tope, stupa as well as 4 teachers sitting in 4 corners. In this place the tower has been erected. Pradaksina Prasawiya Tawaf in Muara Takas. Sung Yun 518–521 AD records the existence of a power which he calls Saka Kasatrapas, from the identification of coins which are thought to have existed around 225 AD with the image of tope, or the Muara Takas stupa. In the years 602–664 AD, Hyan Sang recorded what he saw in Svarnadvipa. Beside it was a stupa built by the king, about 200 feet high. Nearby is a sign where the Tathagata walked to here and there. Fa Hyan 337–422 AD started his journey from 399 to 412 AD departing from Chang'an, crossing Lung. After crossing the Indus, the distance across the southern Indian Sea is 4 to 5 million li, until anchored on a flat land without a valley, there is a river. Going to the southeast less than 80 yojanas, we passing many shrines with a number of priests in them. After passing this place, we arrived called Motu Lo. Following the river, Pu Na, right and left there are 20 sangharamas with 3,000 priests. The climate here is evenly warm without snow. The people are very rich, there are no taxes or official restrictions. All over the land the people did not kill the birds, doves did not drink wine, they did not eat garlic, did not raise pigs, did not drink wine. The chiefs built Sangharama for the priests. Go west to arrive at the village, Na Lo. This is the birthplace of Sariputra, therefore a tower has been erected. The village of Upatissa, known as Nalaka, lived a very intelligent young man named Sariputta whose mother was Sarika Rupasari. It was because of his mother's name that he was called Sariputra. His father was Mathara, a Brahmin surnamed Durganaka. Because he was the son of the village leader, he was also sometimes called Upatissa. In the place of the priests, there was a Sangharama built. Here they made a tower to honor the Sariputra, Mudgalaputra, also to honor the Abhidharma, Vinaya and Sutra. From the south of the city continuing south 4 li, we entered a valley situated between 5 hills, completely encircling like a wall. This is the site of the old city of King Pianpo Solo. Bimbisara according to the Mahaprajnaparamidasastra chapter 40.1.4. King Bimbisara Pianpo Solo is one of the kings of the great kings of Jambudvipa. Because of that, 100,000 Cheseu Sakya, all of whom became his disciples, studied in this place. The 4th century Fa Huan records show this as the Indonesian archipelago. Motu Lo is Malay. Nalaka is Malacca. Pianpo Solo is Salo 5 Koto written Bimbisara in the scriptures. Pu Na is the right and left Pumai Kampar River right and left. Sakya is Kaka Kakya Saka Soko. Saka is a great nation which marks important events with the inscription of the year. Saka, Recorded in the Soko Pisoko Limbago traditional system, the word Kakya is recorded in the bas-reliefs of Borobudur with the literacy of the word, Mahe Kakya. Located between 5 hills, completely encircling like a wall, local designation is, Pagar Ruying. Jambudvipa, in Kampar still has Jambu Island now spoken as Janbi Lupo, local dialect no language in India literacy of the word, Jambu. Killing, mutilating, Merpati, people in Svarnadvipa and Bali, some still abstain. Sari and Putra, explains the Indonesian archipelago words and names. Tower, is the site of, Muaratakas. Upatisa, is the name of the village, Upanisa, Panasan, 4 kilometers south of the site. Na Lo, is new. Nuo. Na Lalo. Nuoa, Lalo. Gunning or Montaigne Lalo. Direction 10 kilometers west from the site. Sangharama, is a dormitory, a complex of, Dharma, learning centers in Svarnadvipa called, Dharma Pala. Local people call, Nan Landa, or Patapokan, Diwa Dui, the name, Nan Landa, later became the name of a branch university in India, Nalanda. Chinese pilgrims from Fa Huan 337-422 AD to It Shing in the 7th century AD visited the ancient archipelago to learn, copying many notes about Dharma, Dhamma, were carried to their country, not bringing teachings from their country to being spread to them. Archipelago Indonesia. The holy city area in Muaratakas, 2 layers of outer fence, is the main complex where the Shengga Kirti, teachers and other parts live. Northeast main gate complex. East, 400 steps there is a building made of mantra training wood. West where to learn there is, Kolam Sakti, Tobek Sati. Southeast, 2nd level learning place. Southwest 3rd level student residence. Northwest of Hermit Tapo Kanyago Upasena Kamala place. North the complex outside the embankment across the river, called Paudaman, by the local dialect, this is Pendarman. The residence of the dignitaries in the 8 corners of the coordinates of the holy city, a radius of 4 square kilometers which is in the 9-layer fence of the embankment fortress, the large wall is the boundary of the complex schools. To accommodate students or Brahmins, were estimated at 6,000 people in each generation. Rshi Markandeya is a figure of the son of the archipelago from Svarnadvipa. Among the names of his previous ancestors are Dharmadasa 700 to 620 BC, Dharmapala 670 to 580 BC, Suvarnadvipa Dharmakirti 610 BC 520 BC, Kumarila Bhatta I 618 to 540 BC. Adi Sankara 569 to 537 BC. Kri Janayasa 6th century AD. Kri Janayasa Dapuntha Hyang, 6th century 4th year 11th day perform, Siddhayatra, holy journey brings, Dharma, is Dharmic original not Buddhism or Hinduism, as well as alumni of Dharmapala, university graduates, this is the location seen Fa Huan and Ithizing. Went out to the north as well as to the west 2,213 people. This is what Rshi Markandeya did to Bali. Bali keeps the teachings of the ancestors of the archipelago nation, Dharma, Dhamma, is Dharmic original perfectly. Nalanda, in Bihar India was founded in 427 AD in the wake of Fa Huan 337-422 AD to the archipelago. Nalanda is a branch of learning development from Svarnadvipa which was initiated by Sailendra. On the site of the temple number 3 it is called by the name, Sariputra Stupa. Relief panels are sculpted on top of the tower, this is the most iconic Nalanda building with several steps leading to the top, which is named, Sariputra. Sariputra also called Upadisya is the son of his mother Sari, Rupasari, because of his mother's name he is called Sariputra. His father is Mathara, Nalanda is the name of his village. The name of the mother and child is clearly the name of Nusantara, Indonesia not India. The physical evidence of artifacts and other supporting this can all be seen, witnessed, attested in the large complex surrounded by ancient embankments which have been examined by Corn de Groot, 1858. G. De Rij van Beest Hall 1879. W. P. Gronevelt, 1879-1880. R. D. M. Verbeek and E. T. H. Van Delden 1881. J. W. Eidserman 1889-1893. N. J. Chrome 1912, 1923. J. L. Moens in 1924. F. D. K. Bosch 1925, 1930, 1946. FM. Schnitger April 1935. Nusantara Indonesia in 610 BC. There was already a scientist in this beloved country. The 7 treatises on valid cognition is the work of Svarnadvipa Dharmakirti. He has compiled and produced major works in the field of scientists and academics, namely, 7 major science sections on the recognition of validity. The 7 treatises on valid cognition. Dharmakirti, known as Serlingpa Dharmakirti or Suvarnadvipa Dharmakirti, Chinese designation Choki Drakpa. Tibet mentions that Dharmakirti was a contemporary of the king of Tibet Srongbi Tangampo. Suvarnadvipa Dharmakirti, born into a Brahmin family from 610 BC to 520 BC, Dharmakirti was the nephew of Kumarila Bhatta I 618 to 540 BC, lived in the matrilineal Kadachuan family system, the line of Dapunta Hyam Sri Jayanasa Dapunta Hyang, until descendants of the current generation named Ramli ni Niak Dachuik Gaho Duobalai. Suvarnadvipa Dharmakirti, a scholar of ancestral descent who is now published with SRIVIJAYA, was born in Suvarnadvipa. Here he carried out his major education and learning processes, Dharmic, and other sciences from his high-level masters. Before Dignaga died, Dharmakirti received ordination from him. He was a student of Dharmapala. Figures when he was still alive. Dharmapala 670 to 580 BC was born in a noble family from Svarnadvipa. He was a student of Dharmadasa, became the leader of Nalanda, Bihar, India. He was a Dharmakirti teacher. During the Dharmakirti period, Adi Sankara in 569 to 537 BC in an academic session once defeated a new opinion about Dharmic, namely the new philosophical review of Buddhism, in the scholarly debate forum. He was one of the originators of the thought of philosophical logic, as well as the major theorist of science, atomism, which maintained that the only thing that is considered, exist, is the state of momentary consciousness. Dharmakirti's works are the 7 treatises on valid cognition, knowledge about, relationship analysis, Sambandha Parikshavarti, the science of establishment of the confession of validity Pramanavaniskaya, science, validity, recognition compendium Pramanavartikakarika Dignaga, the science of, drop of reasoning Nyaya Bindu Prakarana, essence and explanation of a drop of reason Hetubindhanama Prakarana. Evidence from continuums and academic studies Samtanantarasidinama Prakarana. Knowledge of reasoning and approach Vedanyayanama Prakarana. Svarnadvipa Dharmakirti, among the figures carrying the teachings of the original, Dharmic, philosophy of the archipelago, the location in Minanga Kanva, Kampar was found to be artifacts that once stood a large complex. There were more than 14 centuries BC. Landmarks are holy places for the coronation of graduates and sacred rituals of masters, Dharmic, in the form of a high tower and seats of the Sangha, as well as the coronation of the Vanua, Vatsal, kings. Suvarnadvipa Dharmakirti, son of Mother Dui Dumo or Rathna Dui Futi Trata, who lived in Svarnadipa, and when he was Amurta, in the grave in the northeast, 300 meters from the landmark, around him 6 buildings were built by his son. In this place, Xuanzong, Haiyan Sang 602-664 ad also It Shing 689 to 695 AD, who lived for 5 years in Svarnadvipa, studied at the Center of Learning, Dharmic, Nalanda, in Bihar, India, was founded in 427 AD in the wake of Raja Phala dynasty Sailendra from Svarnadvipa. This is a university branch in Svarnadvipa named Dharma Phala, also Sangharama branch in Java, Wanachaka Phala now named Borobudur. Dapunta Hyang brought Dharma and the Arshas to the land of Java as well as Bali. Among his teachers Arki Markandraya, and Bali now perfectly keeps the main philosophy of our ancestral foundation, Dharmic, which underlies the growth of his 3 major religions in India. If it is true that the year of Saka, in all the inscriptions began in 78 AD, of course before that year there was no history in this country. In fact, in 610 BC there were scientists in this beloved country, Indonesian archipelago. Propaganda of our ancestors, primitive, living in a cave adheres to animism, dynamism. Even cannibalism, it is lie. The original teachings of the archipelago are depicted on all sites. The pre-Islamic kingdom is also in Balinese culture. Not one of the 2 teachings that was born and grew in India, Hindu, Buddhist. But those over there are Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jaina originated and sourced from here. Based on the book source, Dharmaraksita 1973, English version, The Wheel of Sharp Weapons, a Mahayana Training of the Mind Library of Tibetan Works and Archives and Anguttara, I. p. 23, Sengyi Han, T 125, K. 3, p. 55, Thupten Jinpa, The Book of Kadam, The Core Texts. Wisdom Publications. Boston, M.A. 2008, 628 NN 129 ISBN 0-86171-441-5 ISBN 978-0-86171-441-4. Dagri Rinpoche, a great Vajrayana Buddhist teacher, explained about a teaching called Bodhikata on the Golden Island Svarnadvipa from a great teacher named Sirlingpa Dharmakirti, or Svarnadvipa Dharmakirti. Yeshe-o, the master teacher from western Tibet, sent Atisa Dipamkara Shranyana to Svarnadvipa to study and translate several Sanskrit texts. Atisa Dipamkara Shranyana is the original name. Another name is Odish Dipankorsrigan, a figure of the spread of Mahayana and the second wave of Vajrayana to 11th century Tibet. Born from Prabhavati Devi and Srikalyan in 980 AD, in 1013 AD, Atisha traveled with 125 people sailing across the oceans and storms towards an area called Boga, a land which at a certain time when the sun is directly overhead produces a shadowless effect. This is the shadowless location seen by the Chinese pilgrim Fa Hin 399-414 AD as well as It Shing 671-695 AD, is the center of science and learning, dharmic teachings of the ancestors of the ancient Indonesian archipelago which were depicted in Borobudur, perfectly preserved in Bali also coloring India. Pay attention to where the locations visited Fa Hin years 399-414 AD. By going on a large merchant ship Fa Hien arrived and was and lived here for 2 years. He wrote copies of the holy books Sutra. He also saw from a distance of 10 steps, there was a statue with its golden hue displayed clearly and brightly. Gold plywood figurine. Among the people who have come here say that the 1,000 students have taken their oath graduation, here all, left shadows, here. Fa Hien meant that he saw a group of people, without a visible shadow. This is the scholar Brahman is in a location. In this area even today if the object body during the day is right under the sun, then the shadow object will be right at the point where the object is and produce no effect with shadow. Is this location Ceylon, Sri Lanka? Sources. Shodhganga, Lanka, is the name of the area mentioned in the Kavyamimamsa of the 10th century Rajasekara. In Ramayana, Kavyamimamsa Rajaikara and Balaramayana. The description of this island does not support its identification with Ceylon or beyond Sri Lanka. This island is while Sri Lanka is on its eastern side. Hypothetical literacy is also the location where Lanka is a Sanskrit technical term used in ancient Indian sciences such as astronomy, mathematics and geometry. Lanka at the equator where the meridians intersect, i.e. a place with 0 degrees longitude and 0 degrees latitude or 0 degrees Lu coordinate approaching it, is the sun is in the equinox position just above the object on Earth, resulting in the object has no shadow. We check the coordinates of Sri Lanka. This location is at 10.279.2 left pointing arrow right pointing arrow 82.35.5 map center 0.7 degrees 51 and 80 degrees 45. E. 7.85 degrees north 80.75 degrees east, Colombo City 6 degrees 56, 04, N, 79 degrees 50 minutes 34 seconds east 6.93444 degrees north 79.84278 degrees east. In summary, the north latitude of Sri Lanka is between 6 degrees 7 degrees, not equinox, or not a location where there is a no shadow effect, so it's not Sri Lanka. Based on the results of measurements and research by J.W. Iserman assisted by Delprat in 1889, 0 degrees 21 north latitude is the position of equinox. Astronomically the site of Muaratakus, Kampar Riau Indonesia is located on the line which is meant, without shadow. Here is correct. So astronomically the site, Muaratakus, is located on the equator coordinates 0 degrees 21 N and 100 degrees 39 east longitude, 0.09 east longitude. This is where the shadowless area Of the 21 youths who were sent, almost all of them died on the way and only 2 young men Rinchen Zongpo and Legshe had mastered the Sanskrit language. On their return the 2 young men told the king that it was Atisha who taught in Tibet, because Atisha had more intelligence than the others. Atisa Dipamkara Shranyana lived for 12 years in the archipelago Svarnadvipa, studied with a professor named Sirlingpa Dharmakirti, or Svarnadvipa Dharmakirti, returned to his country teaching in Tibet for 3 years and died in 1054 in Naitang, Tibet. Atisa Dipamkara Shranyana with 102 followers sailed across the vast ocean for 14 months, went to Svarnadvipa to study and translate several Sanskrit texts. Guru Suvarnadvipa Dharmakirti presented Buddharapang to Atisa and remained in the Silver Umbrella Palace in Suvarnadvipa for 12 years, until he received Lojong, a method for developing Bodhicitta. Atisa was a key figure in the Mahayana establishment in Tibet. Kitab, Maha Prajnaparamita literature on Sariputra and his teacher Sanjaya, written by Nagarjuna in the Maha Prajnaparamita literature, treatise on the virtues of wisdom, also in Divyavadana, p. 394. Sarvalokasya Prajnastapayat Vatathagatama Prasaraparya. Written. A Brahmin from Suvarnadvipa named Kin Fa Suvarnaksa, one of the 6 great non-Buddhist masters, Sanjaya. His Sariputra was from Suvarnadvipa Kin Chio. He was born in the Brahmin family. At 17 had mastered all to the Vedic scientists. Another Chinese pilgrim, Yi Xing, Lt. Xing, 635–713, left his country for an area called Kinchio, Kinti Golden Land, Svarnadvipa, former Indonesians called Srivijaya, Foche, Boha. Boga or Chinese version of Chali Foche. Kota, Boga, is a holy city, center of Dharmic learning in the long before 5th century BC with its landmark, Muaratakas site, through which the equinox passes, in Kampar Riau, Sumatra, Indonesia.